Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yesterday, I made a video reacting to an Appalachian folk song. Someone corrected me about that in the comments. My apologies. By a singer named Oliver Anthony. I thought given the amount of pain that was being spoken to in the video, it would be a great opportunity to talk about a proposal that could help people who wanted such a plan. I noticed when I was reading the comments, and there were a lot of comments, some positive, a lot negative, that I probably didn't do the best job communicating this idea. There were several patterns that began to emerge about what I was saying that didn't accurately represent what I intended to say. Normally when those things are off, when I'm intending to say one thing and it is being interpreted another way, generally means, I probably could have done something better on my end, especially if I'm going to be talking about myself as someone who's capable of talking to conservatives. This was not a good example. As I've reflected on it more, time to talk about why. Based on the feedback that I got. Number one, I said that this program was not going to be instituted by the government at the end of the video. Probably should have moved that up. Probably should have said that as one of the first things. Because there was this idea that began to develop in the comments that I was advocating for a larger government. This is advocating for private citizens, some of whom have money, to actually reinvest that money in other people. That's the plan. Increasing taxation? No. The whole plan is through people's choice. And I didn't explicitly say this wasn't the case, but I also didn't explicitly say it was the case. And that was a mistake. Because there is this really odd thing, and this is a problem. I'm going to speak to this. Whenever human welfare is brought up, whenever instituting some kind of program that can assist people is discussed, the immediate assumption is that it is somehow tied to the government. I think this is really bad. The fact that we put ourselves in this situation where the government is seen as the only vehicle that can help. Yikes. So that's one thing I want to get out of the way. Why might else have people had that interpretation? Well, I use the term UBI, which, I thought this was the best term to describe what I am offering, because the plan is not to restrict people based on means testing. So in that sense, it's universal, but we're not forcing the money on people, if that makes sense. And I'm certainly not forcing people to get psychedelic assisted therapy. I think the term UBI makes it seem as if it is inherently attached to the government and it's inherently being foisted on people. Not what I'm interested in doing. Like, I know the term liberal has been hijacked to such a degree where people think liberals want to force you to do certain things. You know, it's not in the definition of the term liberal. It really isn't. If you go to that dictionary definition, the term liberal is about optimizing individual liberty. I really resent the fact that this term has been hijacked. It's a useful term. Are you looking to conserve things completely the way they are, to preserve the status quo? Or are you looking to liberate ourselves from the status quo through an optimization of freedom? Okay, that's liberal. If you had to weigh me on both of these, I recognize you gotta conserve certain traditions. If you don't conserve anything, what's on the other side? But the whole hope of being a liberal is that there's a better future on the other side. We haven't necessarily done that for ourselves, but that doesn't mean that we can't. What else? There were some references that I was advocating for the replacement of religion. Also not true, and ironically false, considering I am religious. But I wasn't always religious. I didn't find God or find whatever I had found. Because, you know, relationship to something that is so significant is personal. Not everyone's relationship with God is the same. And not everyone's relationship with God can easily be talked about. But I can say this, I would not have found what I found without psychedelics. I was reading some comments of people's personal journey, finding God. I read the Bible and I found God. Good for you. That doesn't work for everyone. Another thing that bothers me about those who talk about religion at the same time discussing how my government intervention was foisting a belief system on people is that oftentimes people who discuss religion discuss it through the lens of their personal religion and foisting it on other people. People who talk about maximizing freedom, the same types who try to foist their belief system down on everyone. Really, oh, how free of you. Oh, it's because Christianity is the absolute truth. Okay. Is your belief system so special that people who practice Hinduism the over 1 billion people who do on the other side of the world, they just don't matter. They don't exist. They're going to hell. Or every single Muslim, yep, just off to hell with them. Are you really that solipsistic? The people who find that statement objectionable don't truly understand what freedom is. I think I've gone through most of the misconceptions, and a lot of them were totally brought about by me. One of the biggest things that I did is, I tried to leverage a popular video within the algorithm at the current time to get this message out to more people. I did try to use it. Was that something I should have done? Maybe I could have actually supplied more of my thoughts on the video specifically, not so detached from the actual lyrics. And then in a later video, I could have referenced this video previously and said, you know what, I'm trying to speak a solution that can address some of the problems in this video. I know I was really listening. For example, the reason I talk about psychedelics, and I'll be a little bit more specific here, but Oliver had a lyric in there, a reference to going home after making bullshit pay and drinking alcohol. And alcoholism is a real fucking problem. And there's good evidence that psilocybin, at least, on the psychedelic front, can help alleviate the symptoms of alcoholism. In some cases, one dose completely eradicates someone's addiction to alcohol. Psychedelic assisted therapy isn't about just having people go in and take psychedelics every single fucking week. That's not what it's about. It's not about creating regular patients. That's how this is different than promoting the pharmaceutical industry, because the big pharma, they want you to keep coming back. They want you to be a regular patient. Big pharma is, as far as I'm concerned, in full approval of big fast food chains. Why? Because the fast food chains are going to make you more unhealthy, and you're going to need more pills, and then you're going to spend more money on those pills. My proposal is completely the opposite. You go in, we pay you for some psychedelic assisted therapy, and then you don't have to come back. That's the point. You don't come back because the treatment worked so well that now you are reconnected with your life. And once again, just so that it's really fucking clear, we're not forcing people to do this. Forcing people to do drugs is ridiculous. Wanted to get that message out there as the views continue to roll in and the comments continue to roll in on the other one. Maybe some of them will come here and listen to the clarification. Did I communicate in an effective way? No. Do I still stand behind a lot of what I was saying? Yes. Those were my beliefs. They just weren't expressed properly because they left behind a lot of misconceptions. And misconceptions, misunderstandings. This is what is taking place between liberals and conservatives on a mass scale. Just a lot of misunderstandings. And I'm not going to be a part of it.